What's up, everybody? Welcome to the WWE After Dark episode. My name is Luis Gonzalez. I am your host for the week, and welcome, and just welcome in general. This is the Chill Podcast. Listen, we got the Raw review, the SmackDown, the soon-to-be new NXT podcast. We got a lot going on. Thank you so much for subscribing to Patreon. If you haven't jumped on the Discord, jump on the Discord. We're having some fun over there. I appreciate you guys jumping on the After Dark. It being an After Dark, you know, I can always talk about my personal life, Luis Gonzalez, and things have been busy, man. Things are always busy with me, as you can tell. Either I'm recording in the car, or I'm recording at home, or I'm recording late, like I am tonight. I am actually recording in the dark, so it's appropriate for this episode, but. Yeah, I know these episodes are coming out a little bit late. They're typically come out on Wednesday. They're coming out on Thursday right now. Life's just been a little crazy. Things have been shifting around. So bear with me as I try to recalibrate with my life here. I'm trying out some new things, new systems, but I haven't had a way to completely land it yet. However, I have been watching The Product. Funny enough, I didn't know that's what people called it, The Product. That sounds kind of funny to me. I've just been watching wrestling. You know, I've been watching WWE. I've been watching the shows. I think people have called it The Product before, but it just caught my ear as the thing that people call it. I don't know, kind of weird, but I guess that's the lingo, right? I mean, babyface is weird too. I don't know what that means. I'm sure it has something to do with something in some history. But, you know, I guess I've been watching The Product. And I tell you what, there's too much product. Again, I guess, listen, everybody's been saying that. Everybody's been saying there's too much product, but specifically the LFG. You guys know, if you've been listening, I've been talking about legends and future greats. This is the program on A&E where you have legends like The Undertaker, come and train future greats, people who are in the Performance Center in Florida, and teaching them to become WWE superstars. There's like 24 of them, and by the end of the season, one male, one female will get an NXT opportunity. Really great show. You get an opportunity to see how amateurs, maybe is a strong word, but how beginners start wrestling, and what goes into wrestling and the art form behind it, and to hear it from legends themselves, like I said, The Undertaker. Last season was great, and typically when you have a season, it's like you know, oh, I guess I'll have to wait maybe a year for the next episode, maybe 6 months, let's say, you know, if I'm being greedy, 6 months. But nope. There is another season 2, and as much as I loved it, I needed a little bit of a mental break to appreciate it and be like, okay, now I'm thirsty for LFG again. Let me get into it. But no, it is back, and I haven't watched the last couple episodes. They are not just short episodes either. They're not like a 30-minute. I think they might be longer than an hour, to be honest. So if I want to catch up, I have to catch up. I really do like the show, but again, there is just so much content. You know what's funny is what I might do one of these days is actually break down how many hours it would take of your life to be involved with the product. Everything that the WWE has to offer. I'm talking the obviously the main stuff from Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. And then including the 4 new podcasts that they have. The Undertaker one that's been kind of rebooted, the Cody Rhodes one, the Stephanie McMahon one, and the Raw recap. That's 4, including also LFG. And even when I watched LFG on A&E, they had like programming on WWE as well, like Rivals or Greatest Moments or things like that. I want to know, if you didn't have anything else to do and you could watch all of this stuff, how many hours would it be? So next week, I'll do a little math, do some calculation, and I will report back to you with the results of my scientific experiment. all that to say, I can't believe another episode of LFG is coming out. I'll be watching it soon, but holy crap, guys. Again, if you obviously know, we have so many special events and PLEs coming up. Night of Champions is coming up. And as I do in my After Dark episodes, when we have a special event, when we have a PLE, I am going to talk about the odds. What are the odds? Everybody has predictions. Everybody thinks, oh, I think this, or I want that, or the story is this. Well, when we get down to it, to the hard tax of it all, the hard numbers, what is the number saying? And what are the people saying? So I go to this website, 411mania.com, and I'm going to read them to you. So you don't have to read it. You could just listen to it as you're doing the dishes. So we're going to start off. Obviously, we have Night of Champions happening this Saturday at Kingdom Arena. Let's just start right from the get-go, because that they did the undisputed WWE Championship match. They have John Cena favored with -3,000 and CM Punk at +900. Again, the deeper the numbers, like the bigger the gap, the more likelihood of it happening is my understanding. So John Cena, big lead, I guess, here. -3,000. It seems like very certain that John Cena is going to win. A 97.8% likelihood of Cena winning the match. I suppose so. You know, they want to keep the story going on with John Cena. The thing is like, I don't want to rinse and repeat of the situation that we've been having in the past of just like, he beats, he wins, he beats, he wins. And then we just bring in these new people for him to mow through. Let's have some story progression. I think that's just something that we all really need in our lives at this point as we head towards SummerSlam. We need some big movement happening. I love CM Punk in this place. I mean, I would love to have CM Punk as a champion. I think obviously he's great on the mic, but I think he can hold the champion really well. So unfortunately, CM Punk, if he loses again, man, my God, this guy is fighting up a battle to become WWE champion. So John Cena, I mean, no surprise. And to something like this, to not being a surprise that John Cena will win, you have to make the match interesting story-wise, or why am I watching, to be honest? I mean, listen, John Cena has a few moves and he's old. So it's not like I'm getting a lot of bang for my buck with that one. And CM Punk can only do so much. And honestly, CM Punk has been trying to put people to sleep like 60 times. It's my one critique of this man is like, for the love of God, you don't have to put them to sleep that early in the match and just, save it. But listen, tune into Matt's review when you want that kind of critique. King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes is -700. Randy Orton's at +400, giving Rhodes an 87.5% likelihood of donning the crown for King of the Ring. This would bring it full circle. Again, the storyline. Oh my God, let's finish this story, of Cody Rhodes and John Cena facing again. I really feel like that's where it's headed. It's like John Cena and Cody Rhodes. It's a redemption, right? At the beginning, Cody Rhodes couldn't really use the belt to turn on John Cena. He learned his lesson. Now he has to grow as a character to take on John Cena. So this makes sense, obviously. Okay, look at this. Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill -500, Asuka +300. A lot of a tighter grip compared to the other ones. Obviously, the odds giving Cargill an 83.3% likelihood of donning the crown. They're really going to push her, huh? I know they've been really teasing her with a couple different people, Charlotte Flair, things like that. But we're really going to see what happens when we really push her to the limit here. All right, I guess, I think, to be honest, I think for me, I think Roxanne Perez would have been more interesting to face Asuka. They're both tiny people, and they both could do a lot of great maneuvers. And I just think Roxanne is great at storytelling, maybe a little more than Jade in the ring, but I think we have big versus small. We have an opportunity, and let's give you a chance here, Jade, and see what happens. United States Championship, we got Jacob Fatu winning. Very thinner likelihood here. -200 against Solo Sikoa at +150. The odds going to Fatu at 66.7%. Really, the only way that this could flip is that Solo cheats with Mateo, JC Mateo. But we obviously, and one-on-one, Fatu takes down Sikoa. No problem. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, obviously going to Ripley, -1,000 to Raquel's +500. But I tell you what, this is raising Raquel Rodriguez's stock just by getting in a match with Rhea Ripley. The fact that she can, go toe-to-toe with her makes her more relevant and prevalent. And let me just take a second to talk about, like, the whole Liv Morgan situation. How unfortunate, obviously, that is. And I love Liv Morgan. But 1,000% everybody's saying is that she's going to come back as a babyface, which is perfect. She will be able to come back, probably win the championship again. She could be in any brand at the time. And I think we're going to be able to do some more interesting stuff. I feel like she was in a place where, like, where do we go? Where do we move? This is going to be a good opportunity. And if Dom does turn on Liv and side with Roxanne, it would double down on Dom being a real big heel. The boos are still there for Dom, so it's like he's on the pivot of, like, a babyface and a heel. It's like one night he's a babyface, one night he's a heel, as far as, like, where people want him to go. I don't know. I mean, I've just been feeling heel lately, as much as I wanted that babyface push so that people like him. You get him liking Roxanne. You just show the type of kind of shitty person that he is. And then you get to have Liv and Rhea team up again. And they, bond. Because really, you remember how they split up and they broke apart? And really, that was Rhea's fault. She turned on Liv. So, hashtag Liv was right. Justice for Liv is kind of the way I have always seen it. So if they could mend their relationship, that would be pretty cool to see. I think they've both grown in their own way. And if they're able to team up after being, how much they've grown, and to see them, like, Liv and Rhea 2.0 joining together, they would be unstoppable. And I think there's just a lot of fun opportunity and good opportunity to keep Liv in a fresh place. Obviously, these are things you've heard, but I'm just saying I'm excited for it as well. Finally, we have a singles match, just one, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. This one is the thinnest one of them all, minus 180 versus Karrion Kross at +140. We really got to push Sam. Man, if we can make Sami lose his shit and turn evil, that'd be pretty cool. He's slated to win with 64.3% the match. This is a lot of wrestling, y'all. We have the Undisputed Match 1, King of the Ring 2, Queen of the Ring 3, United States Champion 4, Street Fight 5, Singles Match 6. Okay, I mean, I guess saying out loud is not too much. 6. I mean, it's gonna be a full show. It ain't gonna be a 2-hour show or whatever, maybe a 3-hour show. I hope it's a little bit longer than that. Listen, we're going to Saudi Arabia. They're getting a lot of money. They better put on a show. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was an added show to really plump this up. It's the Night of Champions. Why can't we get a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship with Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Valkyria? I mean, why not? Maybe we reserve that for SmackDown. Wait, is that a SmackDown? No, that's a Raw. That's a Raw prize. So, yeah, I mean, why not throw that in there? Okay, so there we go. That is the Night of Champions here. And let's move on to a few other things that I have here. Also, okay, so I want to talk about advertisements. Everybody's talking about advertisements. So what does Luis have to think about advertisements? Listen, it's going to happen, right? If it's going to happen, then let's make it look cool. All right. If it's going to happen, I need it to, for example, the fireball ladder. Do I like that it's the fireball ladder? No, I do not. But we are put in a position where we got to make money and things will never be the same, unfortunately. We can never clock back. I'll tell you what, I'd love to have a PLE where it's like the ad-free PLE sponsored by me. If I ever became a billionaire, I would just be like, you know what? Let me sponsor this entire PLE, and my sponsorship, no sponsorship. I don't want you to put anything on anything. I know they'll have like yearly sponsorships where they have to give like Prime. You know, like they have to put Prime, but put it in the corner. I want my clean mat. In fact, give me a black mat and I want a red ropes for this match. You know, I get to design the color scheme of it all. Anyway, if I ever become a billionaire, you heard it here first. I'm going to have an ad-free match. No, so the ads are here to stay. I think the Red Bull, what was it called? The cinnamon whiskey. Oh my God, guys, I'm getting older and I am losing my memory. Fireball, the fireball ladder. That looked kind of cool. It was red. It had the logo design on the side. It was like, if we had to do it, this is the best iteration of it all. The one that's not the best iteration of all is the Slim Jim tables. Holy fuck. That is like the laziest thing I've ever seen, where they just slap a sticker on there. No design. If we're gonna go, let's go. All right, let's have normal tables and Slim Jim tables or whatever. Like, let's design these tables to just have it so it doesn't look like you just slapped a sticker on there, because it is just such an eyesore. It is ugly, and you can make it look cool in some way. Possibly, could it cost money? Yeah, because you know you have to create specialized tables for it. So, as I say it out loud, maybe not work. It may not work. But I think it's just so ugly. Ugh, I hate it. I hate it. And when you had the John Cena and what's it called? CM Punk pipe bomb reversal moment. My God, that Slim Jim was just like in the middle of this shot, and all I could think about was the Slim Jim. I know some people online was like, oh, I didn't even realize the Slim Jim was there. But other people like me, the way that the camera's framed, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get the Slim Jim in the whole fucking thing. And it was. That is elongated advertisement, where when you break it down to social moments, it has a longer shelf life. Now, Slim Jim is consistently persistent in this thing. And if we're gonna do it, let's have it like the logo blend with it, or let's change the table to yellow, or that's a bad idea, because then it's like that's too bright. Just finding a way to not organically, but just kind of integrate it into the table that makes it look cool. You know, what if you burned it into the table? You know, like not carve, but how people like laser etch into things. What if you laser etched it? I know maybe it won't pop as much, and it really pops this way. I tell you what, you cannot notice it. You know what I mean? But I bet you there is a clever way to redesign these tables. So we'll that's what I hope for. Like, just have a designer for ads. I'm sure there is too, but for the table. So we will see. I talked about the Night of Champions. I talked about how my life is busy. I talked about the advertisements. I talked about Liv Morgan and Raquel. Yeah. You know what? I think we just keep it at that, guys. My goodness, I just burped. I think I'm trying to find a little stability in my life right now where I can do these things, or have a nice little setup where I'm not annoying my wife or yelling. I'm very loud, okay? I'm very loud on the mic. I can't do this in the living room when she's around, because it's just like I'm blasting in her ear. She has to wear AirPods that have, noise canceling. And I just wish I had another room that I could do this in. So I always have to like schedule and slot it in when I can. And things have been a little bit difficult. So bear with me We will try to get these out more regularly on Wednesday, but tune in next week. I'm going to put the math together on what it takes to watch the entire product in 1 week. All right? If you had no job and you had the freedom to just watch it all, how long would it take? If you want to find out, tune in next week. But until then, it's been me, Luis Gonzalez. If you want to follow me and other stuff, I am on Instagram at LUWI12. I never post on there well, that's not true. I recently had my birthday and I posted a lot of wrestling stuff on there. That one time when I visited the independent wrestling ring. I feel like the last 4 posts have been wrestling. I'm like, oof, I need to diversify a little bit. But I'm on there. Also, I have a podcast called Punch Drunk Nerd. We talk about movies, video games, comics, books, mostly movies, guys, to be honest, okay? We scratch the surface on some video games. Comes out every Friday. That one's pretty religious. I think that one I've told my wife, hey, come Wednesday, I'm yelling. Wednesday evening, I'm just going to yell. So she's able to excuse that one. But now that I've done this second podcast, she's like, you can't be yelling twice. So that one comes out Friday. It's also on YouTube as well. If you like the visual medium, you want to see my face, you can do it there. It's a fun time. We're a small community, and you know, love to see you in the comments. And we'll do anything you want. If you're in the comments and you're like, review this movie or like talk about this, I mean, we'll do it. You know, we have nothing to hold back. But again, thank you for listening to me. Tune in next week. We're going to run those numbers, how long it would take to watch the product. But until then, it's been me, Luis Gonzalez. And until next week, see ya.